Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In our journey through history, let's go back to a pivotal moment in the life of the United States. Actually, this event happened 150 years before the official birth of the nation, but it laid the foundation for the culture and worldview of America. Let's go back to one of the most famous ship voyages of all time, where roughly 100 English citizens seeking religious freedom made the treacherous cross on the Atlantic Ocean to the New World. Let's go back and explore the famous Mayflower Voyage of 1620. The background to the famous voyage goes like this. The church in England was forcing its patrons to worship in accordance with the church over and against what the scriptures taught. Now, a group of Christians in the region decided that they could not continue on like this. They were Protestant Christians who wanted to break free from the Church of England to worship God according to the scripture. These believers became known as separatists. They faced persecution in England, so they turned their sights to the New World. After a brief stop in Holland, the separatists returned to England to prepare for a voyage to America. 40 members of the separatist movement joined a crew of other English travelers aboard an 80-foot-long and 24-foot-wide ship called the Mayflower. Originally, the journey was supposed to involve two ships, with part of the crew boarding another ship called the Speedwell. Now, the Speedwell never made it into the ocean due to a leak, so all 102 passengers crammed into the Mayflower to make the journey across the Atlantic. The crew left on September 16th, and the journey took 60 days. It was a difficult crossing. The close quarters resulted in rampant sickness, filthy living conditions, and disease. 102 passengers left England, and almost all of them made it to their destination, which ironically was in the wrong place. The Mayflower Voyage was meant for New York, but they miscalculated their direction and ended up in the harbors of Plymouth, Massachusetts. The colonists drafted a document for their self-governance called the Mayflower Compact, and this would provide the parameters for the new experiment in the New World. The Mayflower Compact would also lay the foundation for later attempts at self-governance, including the American Constitution. The Compact still swore fealty to the British Crown, but as you know from history, its successor, the Constitution, did not. Now, the cost of the Mayflower Voyage was great, as roughly half of the colonists did not survive the first winter in the New World. But the foundation of freedom, specifically the freedom to worship God based on the commands of Scripture and not the commands of a king, was laid, and the world would never again be the same. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.